Hello, everybody. Happy New Year and welcome to my pick a card reading video for Year of the Wood Snake 2025. I hope that no matter when you're watching this, that you're having an amazing start to your year so far. I've been wanting to do pick a card reading videos for quite some time now, so I'm really excited to share these with you today. If you've never done one of these before, I'll explain how it works. So here we have 3 piles of cards, each one representing a unique reading in this video. There will be timestamps in the description down below, and also you can use the chapters at the bottom of the video player to skip right to it. You'll pick whichever pile you feel the most drawn to, and that one will be the reading for you. Sometimes people are drawn to more than one pile, and that's perfectly fine. You can watch 2 or even all 3 if that's what you feel is right for you. And if you're not sure which card to pick, you can always take a moment, pause the video, and do a quick grounding and meditation exercise. Or if you're someone who really resonates with crystals, I'll give you a closer look at these and see if you're drawn to any of the crystals. This one is a piece of Shiva's Eye agate. Super eye-shaped. I really hit the jackpot finding this one. This one on pile number 2 is a piece of red aventurine. It's a little sparkly. And this one on pile number 3 is this lovely piece of jade. So take a moment to connect with your intuition and pick a card that feels right for you, and I will see you in your reading. All right, pile number 1, let's see what we have for you in the year of the wood snake. Starting out with the 4 of Cups, King of Pentacles, and 3 of Cups. So 4 of Cups is all about staying where we are and finding comfort and stability in the place where we're at, followed by the King of Pentacles, which is really all about maturity and financial accomplishment, stability, reliability, and strength, especially in areas of career and wealth. And then we have that followed by the 3 of Cups, which is really good, strong, celebratory energy. Really looking at friendships, relationships, reunions. This can be stuff like going to weddings, parties, events, just really enjoying the company of other people. So what I get from this is things are definitely looking up for you so far in the area of career and wealth. For a lot of you, I see a lot of you guys staying on sort of the career path that you're already on right now, that or the one that you've already been planning on moving towards, because we see this this energy of being accepting of where we are, being more cautious, not wanting to make super big, strong changes, especially not wanting to let in new things. But we have the potential to let in a lot more new things, more so in terms of social life. So let's pull something else up here. We have the Flint card. So the Flint card is another card that really signifies strength and stability. It's also talking about exploring your own inner depths. So getting into stuff like ancestry work, getting into stuff like looking at karma, maybe a little bit of shadow work gets involved here as well. Really wanting to explore hidden sides of the self. So this year is going to be a really good year for you guys in terms of self-realizations. It's also a really good time to strengthen our boundaries. I'm feeling for a lot of you, maybe strengthening boundaries around family or around authority figures in your life, like thinking about developing boundaries with people who claim to have a lot of power over you. So that might be something like a parental figure or a boss figure. Really dipping your toes into what are my boundaries with people who I give my power away to, and how can I use those in a way that is safe and effective, right? You don't want to push so hard that you're pushing away, a beloved part of your family, or that you are driving somebody like a boss or a manager to resent you. So there's always a level of caution that needs to be had there. But the really deep, reflective energy of the Flint card is going to help you really look inwards and really think about what it is that you're going to need from yourself and what it is you're going to need from the people around you, and what it is that's going to be a deal breaker for you. So if we're connecting this to new relationships or a bit of a blossoming of a social life, then we're going to be seeing that you're going to be having connections with the people around you that are going to make you reflect more upon yourself. Maybe the traits you see in others is going to give you wisdom about your own traits in yourself. Maybe you're going to be having some new experiences at parties, at gatherings, at social events that are going to show you, oh, maybe I actually have a boundary in this area that I had not yet considered. Now let's pull a couple of cards from the Divine Doors Oracle deck to see what kind of doors may be opening up for you this year. And the Flint card as well is connected to the energy of like portals or traveling. This card is connected to kind of the concept of traveling through time, traveling through portals, traveling through dimensions, and doors are representative of portals, of course. So that also kind of connecting in with the Four of Cups energy, with the idea of receiving and offering but resisting, or having new doorways, new pathways open up for you, but you're kind of hesitant, you're kind of cautious. You want to make sure you know where you're going before you get into there. So these are things that are going to open up for you over the course of this year. They may not necessarily be things that they may not be doors that you decide to walk through, but they're definitely going to be there for you. And they're going to be they're going to be options that you're going to have open up to you this year. So our first door card, I'll give you guys a closer look at it. It says, inner power. By your own command, you brought yourself here. At this moment in life, you have nothing to fear. That's awesome. This is something that I think really connects with that King of Pentacles energy, right? Talking about how you've built your way up to where you're at right now, and you feel like there's not very much that you have to fear, which is really awesome. And our other door here, this beautiful golden pathway, says, trust the universe. Intuition has wandered and led you astray. The timing's not yours, but the universe at play. Have faith and breathe. Intuition has wandered and led you astray. The timing's not yours, but the universe at play. Fascinating. So I feel that one really tying in with our Four of Cups. Cups being a suit of intuition and sort of spiritual matters, and the idea of there's something that you maybe want, but when you've tried to go for it in the past before, you feel like you've been led astray. So you feel like you tried to follow this path and it wasn't working out for you. So maybe there's an opportunity here to try again. Whereas before you were trying to take this path on your own timing, the universe has a different time and a different place for this sort of thing to be happening. For a lot of you guys, I think this has to do with probably another career option, or something big within like just kind of like the lifestyle at large. Maybe something about houses or moving as well. It's this idea of something that you think you can have and definitely feels right for you, but it's a matter of finding the right timing, not just the timing that you think is right, but the timing that the universe has decided for you is going to be the right timing. So holding our cards close to our chest, a lot of carefulness and consideration is coming through in this reading. It's a lot of strategic decision making that you guys are going to be making this year. I'm feeling like there's just so little impulsivity here. And if you are someone who is naturally more impulsive and spontaneous, don't worry. Like, you're gonna do fine. It's just gonna mean that this year for you is gonna be a year where you are being more cautious, maybe being more keeping to yourself. You're gonna be thinking things through a lot more. So if you're someone who's naturally more impulsive and you're like, I don't know about this, just know that this is a year that you're going to be building those skills to be more cautious, more thorough, more considerate with the decisions you make, especially ones that are relating to like long-term things that are going to become multiple year projects that are going to last you for quite a while. So again, things like career path, big lifestyle changes, like building or buying houses, or, moving somewhere, especially somewhere kind of like further out from where you're at, like a significant move. These are things that are going to take a lot more time for you to think about this year. And the energy of the snake is much more cautious, much more strategic, a little bit more like introverted and aloof. So you might find those traits in yourself coming up a bit more this year as well. So you have kind of these two options of considering the thing that you really wanted to go for in the past versus staying where you're at right now in this sort of position of power and stability and control. Control is a big thing as well. I feel like you have a lot of say in what happens in your life at this point in time, like especially like in the first quarter or first half of the year of the snake. You're going to be like sitting from a good position. And if you're sitting somewhere right now and you're thinking, I don't feel like I'm in a good position right now, I would challenge you to take a moment to find gratitude and find abundance in your situation right now. Maybe you're saying to me, oh, but like, I'm not making a lot of money right now. Maybe you're not making a lot of money, but do you have a lot of time, right? Oh, I don't have like a super like nice home right now. You don't have a super nice home right now, but do you live in a good location? Do you have a good situation with, say, roommates or lack of roommates? Do you have a really good community in the area that you're living in? These are things that give us power and control just as much as money can. So when we're thinking about prosperity and abundance, and we're thinking about having power and having control, maybe you don't have a lot of financial control right now, but maybe you have a lot more social power, right? Maybe you're coming into your power socially right now. Maybe you are finding new groups of people. Maybe you are building stronger connections, or even just feeling more at ease within those moments when you're reaching out and connecting with others. So let's add on a couple of cards from the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. This one might give us some more concrete sort of ideas of what we can expect in our lives this upcoming year. So starting with this card here, we have Choice, Libra, Mars. Absolutely. So like I said, we're looking a lot at the energy of choices this year. We're looking a lot at weighing all your options, right? We have the scale where we have the two different options being measured. Libra Mars is an energy that really, 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 really takes their time making decisions. Libra Mars is, there's a lot of connection to justice. There's a lot of connection to romance as well. So if either of those things are important to you, you can see those things being more relevant this year, perhaps. Especially justice. But I feel like when we're looking at justice, I think for a lot of you guys, it's going to be in more minor ways. Maybe even ways that you're not going to expect, coming back to this idea of karma with Flint, right? So maybe you have somebody who wronged you in the past, and maybe it fell off your radar almost, like you stopped thinking about them. But you're going to be able to see karma manifest itself. So you're going to be able to look at this person, their situation, and be like, oh, maybe karma is doing its job, right? Maybe we all kind of get what's coming for us eventually. I'm also going to say that it's a really good thing to be able to make choices in life. It's another thing that points towards that stability with the King of Pentacles. Is when you're in a really bad place in life, you feel like you are out of options. You feel like you don't have anything left to choose from. So this is telling us we're going to have at least like 2 major things to choose from. This could also reflect on romance for this year. So you could have a lot of options, or even just 2 or 3 like major prominent options in your love life for what direction you want to take it. Thinking about that right now, we do have these thorns on the rose, and we have the heart being speared up here, and legs being kind of like locked and restrained. So there might be fear. There can be a big fear of commitment with Libra Mars. That's kind of the flip side of being really cautious with the decisions you make, is being wishy-washy or having a fear of commitment or holding off on making decisions until the last possible minute. So be careful in terms of like maybe leading people on. Make sure that you're really communicative and appreciative to the people in your life who are becoming options for you, whether that's a romantic option or like options for partnerships, because Libra also deals, and especially in the 7th house here, deals a lot with partnerships. So that could be like business partnerships, like domestic partnerships, stuff like that. Make sure that you're communicative with people. Like, maybe don't say to them, hey, by the way, you're one of 2 options that I'm thinking of right now. That might kind of put people on the spot and make them feel uneasy, right? But just being open with where your level of commitment is at right now. The thing about having choices is you can have 2 or 3 choices for so long, but you go too long without making a choice, and those people are going to feel like frustrated or let on, or like you're not communicating enough to them, and you might kind of lose those options entirely. So as much as this year is about strategy and thinking before you act, thinking before you make a choice, you also will have to make choices. Like, you're not going to go the entire year just kind of sitting around mulling it over. You are going to have to make that choice eventually, even if it hurts a little, even if you don't really want to do it. Maybe you really like these 2 people or these 2 businesses, these 2 partnerships, these 2 options, these 2 sponsors, and you have to let somebody down, and just know it's not going to be the end of the world when you do that. Like, it'll be okay. Okay, moving on here. Assertion. Sun in Aries, fighting the dragon. So like I said, there is going to come a moment, and I feel like this comes in sort of the later part of the year, once you've really explored all your options, you've done all your self-reflection. That's going to be the time when you come through with that burst of energy and you go, I'm ready. I know what I need. I have my ambitions. I have my dreams. I have my goals, and I'm just going to go for it. You're going to have so much certainty in this path and this choice that once you're ready to make that decision, you're just going to be able to just burst forth and really make the most of it. And to finish us off, have 5 of coins, 8 of wands, and 5 of wands. Wow, look at all that fiery energy. So we're definitely looking at the sort of later half of the year here, I want to say. For everyone, your timelines may all be a little bit different, but we're approximately kind of looking at the later half of the year. That is a lot of fiery energy. So I guess starting with the Five of Coins, we have a feeling of lack. So kind of the opposite of the King of Pentacles. So that combined with all this really fiery energy, Eight of Wands, Five of Wands, we have things happening really quickly. And then we also have conflict and plans or ideas or situations going up in flames. So the later part of the year is going to be a lot more exciting. It's going to be a lot more dramatic. There's going to be a lot more potential for conflict. You can really see how this makes sense when you spend the first half of the year holding back and being so careful, and then you're ready to finally move your plans into actions. We have that Eight of Wands talking about speed, things happening really quickly, quick actions create quick rewards. And then Five of Wands, so there's going to be some conflict. Some people are not really going to be happy with the choices you make, and some of it is also going to have nothing to do with you, pile number one. Some people are just going to be angry, towards the later half of the year. I don't know how else to say that. It happens. So don't take too much offense to it. There are going to be some people who are probably going to be argumentative with you or starting drama with you, and you don't even know why. I think there's just going to be a lot going on emotionally for the collective at that time. And a lot of people are going to be seeing you in your power and in your certainty. And they're going to be mad because they don't have that same feeling of power and certainty, even though you might feel at this point in time like you have less power. When you start taking more risks, people aren't going to see your internal struggle. They're only going to see what you have, what you own, what power and control you possess in your life that they feel a lack of. So be prepared as best as you can for that. Depending on when you watch this, it could be far in the future or that could be happening right now. But basically, it's going to be a really slow start to the year, and then it's going to escalate and become much more faster paced towards the end. So if you're in the first half of your year and you're feeling like this is really a drag, this kind of sucks, just know that you have good, adventurous, exciting times awaiting you. It's just going to be once you know what that adventure needs to be, that you'll be able to really go for it. And this kind of fire explosive energy, I think, is going to overlap a little bit into the Year of the Horse as well, the beginning of Year of the Horse in 2026. That is February 17th. So that's your reading for the Year of the Snake from January 29th, 2025 to February 16th, 2026. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and let me know something that you look forward to doing or experiencing in this new year. All right, pile number 2. Let's get started with the Archeon Tarot. Starting us off with Chariot, reversed, King of Swords, and the Fool. Wow, okay. So there is some really intense decision-making energy that comes up here when we have the Chariot reversed. That could reflect maybe feeling like we have a lack of resources or a lack of energy, lack of drive, especially in pursuit of particular goals. Could also mean that we are avoiding locking ourselves into just one single option and putting our everything, all our resources, all of our energy into one particular option. We have the King of Swords, which is a very analytical energy, very much caring about the facts of the matter. The King of Swords also cares a lot about truth, so seeking truth and fairness as well this year. Truth, fairness, and justice becoming something that matters a lot to us. And then we have the Fool card, so we're going to be starting something new, a totally new chapter of our life this year for our pile number 2. So I'm really interested in getting some more information. So let's just go straight into our next couple of cards from the Numerology Oracle here. Let's see what connections we can make. So pulling up, communication is key. New moon in Gemini. Communication being an aspect of the element of swords, connected to the element of air. And then we have a personal issue reaches resolution, full moon in Cancer. That's really cool. We have the new moon and the full moon here. And also particularly Gemini followed by Cancer, which is the natural order of the zodiac. And then, of course, new moon and full moon are a cycle within each other. So there's a lot of continuity there. These cards are very connected. So we're going to be needing to communicate in order to reach a resolution within a personal issue this year. I think that there is like a main overarching issue that comes up perhaps in your relationships of any kind, like business, personal, friendship, romantic, whatever it may be. Family, of course, is also a key concept that comes up a lot when we see Cancer. So definitely connecting with communication. What we're going to see in terms of outcomes here is we have the full moon in Cancer sort of followed by the Fool. So there's going to be this sort of rebirth I'm feeling in an aspect of your life that has to do with relationships and communication. It's like life is full of small moments that matter a lot, but what I'm getting from the energy of this reading is that it's going to, a lot of what happens for you this year is going to build up to a climax that sort of becomes one more major moment. There's probably going to be like a particular 1 to 2 month period for this year for you that everything is going to come together and tie together, and you're going to reach that climax and that conclusion. And from that point forward, you're going to be in the energy of the Fool. So big realizations about the self, about the way that we communicate. King of Swords has kind of this energy of tension to it for me right now. So there's going to be a lot of like tension around the way we communicate. Tension in the throat chakra. We see a lot of blues in here, right? So there's going to be a lot of focus on healing the throat chakra this year. So healing our ability to communicate, our ability to voice our most authentic self. So we're going to be starting off this year, pile number 2, with some tension and being more in your shell, as we can sort of see with Cancer energy. Cancer, when it's not comfortable, is an energy that closes off, doesn't want to let people in, doesn't want to let people know that they're suffering or that they're struggling. There's going to be some struggle and some chaos with the Chariot, especially towards the more beginning of the year. I feel like we're gonna have some issues with organization. So bringing in the King of Swords energy is when you want to straighten things out in your life, when you want to, maybe get like your documents in order. Maybe has something to do with like, passports or paperwork or just those little details in life, like changing your address after you move, like stuff like that, where it's something that can easily slip your mind, that causes a bit of chaos or confusion later on down the road. So if there are any loose ends that you haven't tied up, maybe with like paperwork or legal issues, change of address, like change of name, like anything doing final steps in that area is going to help you avoid having as much of a mess in your life. I'm also feeling like there's something to do with clutter, like a lot of clutter in the home. So this could be literal, this could be physical clutter, like having too much stuff in your space or having too much distractions. There's also this concept of time clutter, which is the idea of when you have too many commitments going on at the same time, especially commitments of something that you want to be doing on the daily. It gets overwhelming and you are able to kind of keep up with none of them. And you always feel like you're falling behind, not even necessarily because you are, but just because you got too many irons in the fire. You have too many things you're committing to at once. So we're going to be looking at simplifying some of those things this year. So again, could be physical clutter. We're talking about clearing out spaces, spring cleaning, creating space for the new, which if you do follow the Lunar New Year at all, you may have already done that in preparation for this year. If not, and you're seeing this now, there's always still time to do so. It's never, too late to clear out clutter from your life. You can do it any time of the year. Doesn't have to be part of a yearly tradition or anything. I do recommend that wholeheartedly for you. So let's add a couple of cards from the Urban Crow Oracle into the mix. This one here. This one here. And I'd like to start with this card. So this one is the Nature card, number 32. Lots of dandelions, lots of other crows in the distance there, and Anomaly, card number 2. So also some similar themes in here with the dandelions in the foreground. We got the one crow there as well, and then several others in the background. They're sort of facing away from each other, and they both have that number 2 in there as well. Okay, so looking at the Anomaly card, we are looking at an event that's going to happen in your life that is going to be either abnormally good or abnormally bad. There's going to be something that really stands out. I get the feeling for most of you, this is going to happen when you step foot outside of your own home, as we have the Nature card being sort of a reflection almost of this Anomaly card, the way that they're positioned beside each other here. And the Nature card is really encouraging us to go out and spend more time with nature, go out, spend more time in sort of the real world, as we call it. there could be an opportunity for you to meet a particular person this year who's going to stand out and have a very large impact on your life. This person, like as soon as you see them, you're going to know there's something different about them. You're going to feel drawn to them. And I think this is a very individual thing for you guys, whether this is going to be a positive influence or a negative influence. And you might not know until later on down the road after you've spent more time with this person. I'm getting that for a lot of you, probably for most of you, this is going to be sort of a person in your life. For others, it may be like a particular event or something inanimate, like a car or like a job listing that you want to invest in and make your own. But what you should know about this situation is that things can go either way. You're gonna really have to assess the situation as it progresses to have an understanding of whether this is something that benefits you or something that hurts you. And I think that you're not really gonna know for sure until communication issues start to arise. So if this is someone who's going to have more of a long-term positive effect on you, maybe you have some issues with communication and it scares you a little because you go, okay, I really like this person. I don't want to push them away. Let me work on how I can communicate to keep things healthy between us, to keep the boundaries strong, to keep the relationship on solid terms, to make sure that we're both on the same page with things. Maybe if it becomes a more negative progression, maybe you feel like this person is not communicating with you and that you have to try and race to overcompensate or something like that. You know, relationships and communication is a very nuanced, complicated subject. So this is going to be a little bit different for everybody. But either way, this new influence on your life is gonna take up so much focus. It's gonna be something that, like, once it's come in to the forefront of your mind and has taken your attention, your attention's gonna be there that whole time. Like, as soon as I pulled up this card, my eyes are just drawn to it, right? Like, it really stands out physically amongst the other cards. So this is something that's gonna really stand out in your life as well. And then we have that reflected with the nature cards. So there's going to be other things going on as well. There's going to be some other relationships. There's going to be some other like minor disputes and stuff like that along the way that you'll have to settle that will help you build these communication skills. What I also see is that after you go through this sort of throat chakra development arc and you're able to open up and balance that chakra, go through your full moon sort of transformation, reflect on it, enter the energy of the Fool, then you're going to kind of be able to move. Like, we have this kind of like before after thing where you might be really obsessive over this one new person or this one new opportunity or scenario in the beginning, and then after you go through the development that you need to go through, I'm so sorry if you can hear the sirens right now, you're going to be able to move on and focus on other things and other people some more. Let me just wait for this to end. And with that comes a feeling of peace, a feeling of finality, a feeling of things being settled. This may or may not mean that your new story, new opportunity, new person, it may or may not mean your relationship with them ends. We may see somebody end up being sort of cut off or distanced from us, or we might just be able to resolve things peacefully with this new influence and be able to move on. So maybe they're still a part of our life, but it's not obsessive anymore. We're able to go out and enjoy other things in life, enjoy other opportunities, enjoy other relationships a lot more moving forward. And you'll be able to focus more on your relationship with the self, which is always important, especially when we're thinking about communication issues. It very much is about yourself when you're thinking about communication issues, because you can only control the way that you communicate, right? But I think even more so once this main issue is dealt with, you'll be able to sort of go back into a more reflective, more self-focused position in your life. So let's grab a couple more tarot cards, this time from the Tarot of the Haunted House. Hopefully get a good, like, before and after kind of energy. And maybe a third card as well. Put it right here. So let's start over here, starting with the Ace of Wands. The Three of Cups reversed. Right here in the middle, we have the Emperor card. Yeah, so with this Emperor card, especially with its position right above the King of Swords, actually, what I get from this is that this situation that you're going to be going through, you're going to have to take charge. You're going to have to take the lead. So if you're someone who doesn't normally start conversations, especially hard conversations, if you're not one who usually like asserts your own boundaries or expresses your true authentic feelings that much, this is going to be a big challenge for you. It's going to take a lot of courage, a lot of bravery. You're going to have to be the sort of dominant force in this relationship, especially when it comes to working out interpersonal issues. So in order to get through this cycle of learning new communication styles, new methods of self-expression, learning how to speak your truth in a way where you don't feel like you're choking up, or you feel confident and empowered, and bringing that into your relationships and using those skills to really just resolve any lingering issues that are going on, like cut through the bullshit, cut through the drama. You're gonna have to be the dominant force in these interactions. And I know that sucks, but in the end, it's going to be what's best for you, and it's going to provide you with so much more empowerment than you had in the beginning of the year. Another thing here is the Ace of Wands. So we're talking about new inspiration, new ideas. This could potentially be a good year for working on art and artistic projects, especially sort of on the sides, when you're sort of in that stage where you're still not really feeling like you're able to express yourself fully. Getting into self-expression through art could be a really good thing for you, that you're doing a lot more of this year. And just having new ideas and new ambitions, which is going to tie in with the Fool card. So what I'm really seeing here is you're going to be getting a lot of new ideas, new inspiration, new goals, new ambitions, but it's going to be kind of overshadowed for a moment in time by your relationships and social issues, as well as any sort of personal shadow work or like therapy or whatever it is that you need to do to really help you communicate and heal that throat chakra. And then once we move through to the energy of the Fool, it goes from 0 to 1. So that's when the ideas that you had that you felt like you weren't quite able to manifest are going to come through. With the dandelions, we do have a really powerful energy of manifestation. There's a lot to be said about hope. So don't lose hope in anyone in your life until they prove to you that that relationship is hopeless, okay? Because you might think about throwing in the towel early when you still haven't gotten the fulfillment you would have gotten out of that relationship if you would have just taken a couple more weeks or however long you need to get your thoughts and feelings in order and communicate with them, have a talk with them, and see the outcome of that conversation. You never know just how much can change when communication is done like properly. So, try to stay optimistic about your relationships this year. I know with the energy of the snake can be a lot more distrusting, a lot more cautious, a lot more introverted. And that's fine if you're feeling that way. But try to keep hope. I know we're talking a lot about things that are kind of more on the side of conflict and interpersonal issues, but that doesn't mean that anything is hopeless. I think if anything, this year is going to show you how you can challenge yourself to be a better friend, to be a better partner, whether that be in romance or in business, to be a better family member, better brother, sister, father, whatever. So we also have the Three of Cups reversed here. And I love this depiction of the Three of Cups. If you look at it upright for a moment, you can see this like desire to connect and this feeling of sort of drowning. It's a really emotional card. It's like you can see the people around you. They're laughing, they're playing, they're having a great time, they're expressing themselves, they're authentic. And you feel stuck. You feel like you can't, like, how can I ever reach that? How can I break out of my shell? How can I break out of my silence? How can I become like them? How can I be full of love and light and hope and laughter, the same as these people are? And I'm going to say, pile number 2, it really is just a process. It really does take time. This is just something that is going to become more available to you and become more a part of your reality the further along you get with time. And that might even extend past the year of the snake into the next year or 2 or 3, because for some of us, especially for those of us who have any sort of history of trauma, especially in like relationships, it can be really difficult to rebuild that trust. And in the year of the snake, rebuilding your sense of trust and faith in others is going to be a more slow moving, gradual process. So once again, don't lose hope. There is hope, and not just for one particular person or project that stands out for you, but you have so many options of so many new friends that you could make this year. They might not all be life-changing like this one anomalous figure, but every relationship that you have in your life matters. It's all going to be very meaningful for you. So don't lose hope just because you are stuck drowning under the weight of your feelings and you don't know how to express them. You're feeling shy, you're feeling repressed. It'll be okay. You will absolutely get there. It's just going to be a gradual progress. So appreciate the progress that you do make as you make it. Because those small moments are going to matter just as much as the big one, right? So I like to finish off this reading with a couple of cards from the 101 heart cards. So they always have something kind and encouraging to say. And maybe we'll have like a third one as well. So our first message from the heart cards here is gentleness is your strength. Awesome. Second one, treat yourself with gentleness. All right. A lot to be said about being gentle this year. And then the third one, allow yourself to be more playful. All right. Yeah, so especially in these social situations, especially when we tie that back to this Three of Cups, you know, you see other people filled with laughter, right? And just like blossoming, just opening up and showing themselves. That energy of playfulness, that energy of humor is something you can really use to your advantage. You know, you might feel really anxious, but you can use humor to lighten the mood, make yourself laugh as well as others. And it'll really help ease a lot of that tension for you. Try not to take things like too seriously. I know you're going to care a lot about these relationships and how they affect you or how you're affecting them. But just remember to like have fun with people, right? It's not all about using your experiences in your relationships to further your self-development. It's also about having fun and enjoying life and being silly sometimes, right? And then gentleness. Gentleness is your strength. Treat yourself with gentleness. We have that encasing, that King of Swords, that really tense, closed off, I need to strategize kind of energy. So be gentle with yourself. Be sweet with yourself, because there's no need to rush yourself and push yourself to your absolute limit in a situation that is going to progress slowly and subtly regardless, right? So that's going to be it for your guys's Year of the Snake reading. So this will be from January 29th to February 16th, I think. If you like the video, best way that you can support me and let me know that I did a good job is by leaving a like or a comment down below and hitting subscribe. You can also check out my short form content on TikTok at Aetheric Sage and my website, aethericsage.com, where I offer professional readings. Thanks so much for watching. Hope this was helpful to you, and enjoy your new year. Pile number 3. Let's see what the new year has in store for you. We've got a unique assortment of decks here today that would like to share their messages with you. We'll start with the Erotic Fantasy Tarot, which I do not often use in my videos for perhaps obvious reasons, but it has messages for you today. First one being Ace of Wands. The skull on the stick there. And the Six of Wands, or Six of Pentacles, which I will have to censor so that YouTube is not mean to me. So we're off to a really fiery start. We have the Ace of Wands here, which is a particularly fiery, almost grim kind of energy. I feel like a lot of you guys, pile number 3, are coming out of a really tough situation. A lot of you guys are coming out of a really destructive situation. This might have to do with a relationship or your living space, or maybe a bit of both. Maybe it has to do with a really unhealthy career situation that you've just sort of pulled yourself out of, or just in the process of pulling yourself out of right now. It's this feeling of like just the aftermath of just like absolute war. The idea of going through hell is something that's coming up for me right now. So for you guys, I think that a lot of you guys are looking towards this year as a way that you can find some peace and respite, a way that you can find more freedom, hopefully, in the months moving forwards. And then we also have the Six of Pentacles, which is about fairness and seeking equality. It's about the exchange of goods and services. So it could be relating to career as well. There's also a large energy of authority here. In this image specifically, we see this person having their feet kissed. So there's that idea of like brown nosing or sucking up to an authority figure, or just letting someone just have like total control over our lives. So pile number 3, I feel that this is a situation that you guys are trying to pull yourselves out of right now. I feel like this year for you guys is really about finding a fair situation, a fair relationship, a fair job where you will be treated better, you'll have more freedom. You're not going to feel like you're put underneath somebody else. So let's pull some more cards and get some more information on this situation, as well as what things are going to look like moving forward. So let's follow this up with some of Madame Andora's fortune cards. These cards are really great at taking a look into the future and, you know, seeing both the good and the bad that may come. One, two, three. First one, the Black Cat. Your luck will soon change. This is a really good card to see after the last 2 cards that we just pulled. This card always signifies a shift in luck. So if you've been in a stage of really good luck and you're going to fall into a stage of more bad luck, if you've been in a more misfortunate stage of your life, you're going to be finding more fortune. I would say that this energy we're feeling up here is definitely very unfortunate. It's definitely very chaotic. It's definitely very negative. So we're seeing with the new year an opportunity for that to flip around. Another message of the Black Cat is avoiding unnecessary risks. So there's a bit of 2 energies that kind of rub against each other. in the sense that we have the Ace of Wands, which is about new beginnings, new inspiration, and you can get a lot of like fiery, passionate motivation, energy to really move forward with that. But just make sure that you're still taking things a little bit more carefully, because whatever it was that was putting you in such a conflict ridden, destructive situation before is, you're not fully out of it yet. So just make sure that just because your luck is about to turn around, doesn't mean that risks are not still risks. Let's see what the other cards say. Fire. Reckless actions lead to conflict. Once again, talking about not wanting to take too many risks. And the Satyr. Revelry and indulgence. Wow. Okay, so with the fire card, I'm getting a couple of different messages here. I think that for some of you guys, this energy is something that you're pulling out of. You're just pulling yourself out of it in the start of this new year. And you want to just be careful with the people in your life who are fire signs or who come to your mind when you think of this chaotic, combative energy that you've been dealing with, because you might be pulling into a more safe environment and state of your life right now, but that doesn't mean that if provoked, whoever's causing you problems won't cause problems once again. So this could be a really good time to cut contact. And sometimes doing a hard cut, like full blocking someone, can, especially if they know where you live or where you work or something, or you have common contacts, common friends who they can use. Sometimes that can be a big risk. So sometimes when we talk about cutting someone out of our life, we want it to be a more gradual process. We want it to be you just start talking to them less, giving shorter answers that they can't use to fan the flames. Just trying to be really non-reactive in how you engage with them, and slowly engaging less until they kind of lose interest because the relationship is boring them. It's not giving them the drama that they want anymore. Another thing is, because this relates to fire signs, so Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, and also I'm thinking about how we're talking about the year of the wood snake. So snake is an energy that's not super trusting in relationships. Snake energy is going to be a lot more cautious, a lot more closed off, a lot more distrusting. That's a good thing for you right now, because you have been / are dealing with some very difficult people to deal with. Some people who definitely deserve your distrust have been in your life recently. So as much as the snake energy being more closed off is often seen as a bad thing, I think that for you guys, pile number 3, this is a good thing, because I think that you definitely need some time to be less involved with chaotic people right now. I also think that for some of you, with this being the ace, which represents new beginnings, I think that for some of you, somebody new is coming into your life, and they may especially be a fire sign, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or have a lot of fire prominent in their chart, or maybe, since we're talking about Chinese zodiac, they may also be a fire something as well, like a fire snake or fire rabbit, who you're dealing with right now. That might be somebody new who's coming into your life who you want to be careful of as well. And then we have the Satyr card here as well, because there's such a short description for this in the guidebook that comes with it. I'll read you the whole thing, and you guys can see what resonates with you most from there. So it says, the satyr is playful, mischievous, and prone to overindulgence. He is a symbol of music, dance, revelry, and celebration. The satyr also represents decadent, lustful, and lewd behavior. So that, especially paired with the fact that we have so much fire energy and a lot of sexual energy with this deck here as well. So this year might be a year with a lot of really passionate relationships that come in, a lot of passionate moments. So you can have, it could be a year of a lot of indulgence for you. It could be, and that might be a bad thing if you ever struggle with overindulgence or issues like addiction and stuff like that, or if that's something that runs in your family. Or it could be a good thing, you know, maybe you feel so free that you're able to sort of let loose and indulge in your wild side a little bit more. Maybe you'll be doing a little bit more partying this year, a little bit more putting yourself out there. You know, maybe you're getting on the apps, doing your hookups, stuff like that. So this card can go a lot of different ways. It could also, maybe it has more to do with just music for you. Maybe you get really into music this year. And then looking at like energy of like mischief and deceit could be relevant as well if we're looking at these people we're trying to avoid. But there is potential here to have a lot of fun, is what I'm getting from the satyr card. So really fiery, chaotic start to the reading. The rest of our cards should be a little bit more light and laid back, just judging by the decks that I'm reaching for right now. So we're going to pull a card from the Talking to Heaven mediumship cards. Like I said, very interesting combination of decks. I'm going to put this card here. And for some reason, I guess we're going to do a second card. We'll do this one here too. So we have this card, I watch over you every day. So definitely messages coming through for some of you guys right now from someone specific. And then we also have the card, Don't Be Afraid, with the rocks in the water. That's really sweet. So a lot of you right now, I think, are feeling really scared. A lot of you guys, I'm going to be so real with you guys because I always keep it real with my readings. Okay, we do shadow work here. We do that. So a lot of you guys are really scared. A lot of you guys have someone with a position of a lot of authority over you, someone who's able to control a lot of your life. Maybe this is someone you're in a relationship with, or they're in your family, or they're in your home, or they're in your space of work. You can't avoid them. Maybe it's a really loud, mean, terrible neighbor, right? You know who this is. And for some of you, it may even be multiple people. And I'm so sorry you're going through that. And it's terrible and it's frightening for sure. But we have this message here of don't be afraid. Someone is watching over you, okay? So there is somebody in your like spiritual circle, in your team of guides right now. For some of you, this may be like a guardian angel. For others, this may be a relative who's passed or an ancestor who watches over you. And they really want you to know that they are here for you and that you are not alone, and you have like your team of guides watching over you to help keep you safe, okay? And to not be afraid, we have these rocks coming out of the water. So it's like that idea of like these guides who are here for you right now are like your rock, who you can really rely on. If you feel really afraid, you feel really paranoid, You feel worried about whether or not you can trust the people around you. Like maybe even you've pulled away from this bad person who's really scary to deal with, but now you see little traits of them in new people who you meet, and you see like little red flags that you didn't notice in that person, but you're noticing it this time in someone else, and you're asking yourself, like, am I crazy? Is this person going to hurt me? I don't know who I can trust. You can always trust in your guides. You can always trust in your higher self. And I know that may not sound like a lot if you don't have like a really good, strong physical person in your life to rely on, but it is more than nothing. And there is hope for like peace in your life moving forward. So try not to let fear overtake too much of your life and sap away too much of your energy that you could be using to just enjoy your life, right? Another thing that I'm getting, by the way, with this card is with this blindfold. I think that this person, there in some situations, for some of you guys, this person doesn't even realize the power that they have is the crazy part. Like they're kind of blind to it, or maybe they're willfully blind to it. You see this happen with a lot of people who get in positions of power, like, CEOs or higher ups in a company. They're so focused on the money and the numbers. It doesn't even doesn't even get to their head how much power and how much control they have over the people who are underneath them, over the people who work for them. So that's something that comes up with this as well. I'm going to take it straight to our next set of cards from the Mermaid Tarot and take a look at more of how this story is going to play out throughout the year. How are we going to find peace? How are we going to find separation? How will we find safe communities moving forwards? Really important questions to be asking right now. I think safety is of the utmost importance for you guys right now. And this card flipped right out. Ace of Cups. Let's bring everything closer together. What a chaotic mix of cards. So Ace of Cups here. Let's look for two more. And one for right here as well, a fourth one. So let's give you guys a closer look at our Ace of Cups here. Super beautiful card. So here we have new water, right? We got the Ace of Wands and we got the Ace of Cups. So fire and water are elements that kind of combat each other or balance each other out, sort of traditionally speaking. So Ace of Cups is saying that there are opportunities for new relationships. There are. And as much as it stresses you out and as much as it scares you to start new relationships right now, the unfortunate truth of it is that you're not going to learn how to trust again until you're able to build new relationships that prove to you that some people can be trusted. So we have to do a lot of intuitive work. There's also some work to be done about figuring out, like I said earlier, red flags that you may have missed. Figuring out, how did I get in this situation of being just dominated and destroyed by this influence in my life, and what could I have noticed along the way that maybe I didn't notice going into this situation. That's not to say that any of the blame is on you for this happening with situations of power imbalance, sometimes that just kind of is how the world is when you walk into it. Sometimes you can't avoid being put underneath someone else, but noticing what might have felt wrong in the beginning will help you have a better idea of what should be an actual red flag in new relationships and what might not be. And you might not be able to figure this out right now, and that's totally okay. This reading will kind of be valid for like the whole year, right? So it's okay if you don't understand right now. I think that with time and with some distance, you'll be able to assess the situation more. Because right now, for so many of you guys watching this right now, this is so new and so fresh and so raw in your heart and your mind that you need time to calm down and de-escalate and sort of emotionally recover and just like come into your shell for a bit and be like, no, I'm not letting anybody in, right? Like I said, that snake energy of I'm gonna slither away, I'm gonna kind of curl up and hide. And maybe you need to do that for a little while, but you don't have to do it forever. You are going to find other people out there, maybe people who have been through something similar to yourself as well. See our next card. King of Pentacles in reversed. Okay. So letting go of control. And the Queen of Pentacles upright. Wow, we got the King and the Queen. Interesting. So what I get from this is that you want to let go of issues of control right now. I think that there's something about hierarchy right now, especially social hierarchy, that is really troublesome, really triggering right now. Really takes us into a dark place. So we have the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. They're both rulers of their suit. They're both rulers over finance, prosperity, wealth, physical matters, the element of earth, the idea of nurturing and stability, right? But one of the main differences between the King and the Queen, especially in the way that I read it, is we have the King is more about controlling other people or being a leader through action, through example, whereas the Queen is going to be more subtle. She's going to be more taking care of herself first, not worrying as much. The Queen has a lot of empathy, is the thing. The King will know how to turn his heart off and be cold. The Queen operates from a place of empathy and from a place of love. So you're going to try to get yourself back on your 2 feet. You're going to try and get that independence back. And you will get that independence back. Try not to put yourself in a position of leadership. As crazy as that sounds, like if we're thinking about a work situation, right, and you just got away from a really toxic boss, you don't want to try and apply to become the boss somewhere else. It's just gonna like trip you up. There's a lot of like bad behaviors, or at least a few bad behaviors that need to sort of be unlearned. And you want fairness, you want equality with the Six of Pentacles. So you want to feel like you're on the same level as the people you're working with. So if you spend a lot of time in positions of management, if you're able to find a position that's less putting you at the top of a hierarchy and putting everyone else beneath you. If you're able to find a more even ground situation to be a part of, maybe like a more team-based approach, that would be awesome. And then also when it comes to healing, I think healing in groups is going to be good for you too. So the king is a little bit more isolated, which we have reversed, and the queen is a much more social, like empathetic, connecting to others kind of energy. So with that, we have this idea of, if you feel like you need to go to therapy, maybe try a group therapy. Maybe try, if you've been a victim of abuse, maybe try going to support programs for people who've been through that kind of abuse. Healing alongside other people is going to do a lot for you this year. It really is. And especially being in a more controlled environment like group therapy allows you to open up to others. But it's in a controlled environment. It's under the supervision of like a professional who's going to make sure that things don't get too triggering. If things don't go too far, you're going to have people there who can look after you, stuff like that. So this is a really good year to find support in your community. And maybe reconnect with the people who you lost contact with. If you got cut off from a lot of your friends and family and you feel really bad about it, go back to them. They're waiting for you. They miss you like so much. And maybe these can be people who can watch over you as well, right? You might be surprised at how much like empathy and compassion and nurturing people will show you when you let them know what you've just gone through. A lot of people in your life might show like a lot of protective qualities towards you. You can find safety in other people. Pulling that up with the 5 of Wands card. Look at that. So all of these people are putting their energy towards the same goal right now. So huge messages about community for you this year. It's all about finding people who you can trust, finding people who care about justice and fairness, healing, recovery, equality. Find those people. They're out there and they're looking for you just as much as you're looking for them. Like attracts like, right? So you can find people who are healing and going through the same emotional journey as you are this year. This year is going to be a lot about healing for you. A lot about social recovery. And then we're going to finish this off with a card from Crystal Wisdom Healing Oracle. Labradorite. That is a beautiful sphere of labradorite right there. So labradorite is an energy that is very intuitive. It's very much connecting to your intuition and your psychic senses. Can also help with foresight, so seeing a little bit into the future. So you got to really follow your intuition. That's what's really going to be your guide, especially if you're still feeling like mentally and emotionally scrambled. Ground yourself in your intuition. We have this earth with this water. Labradorite is very watery as well. The earth coming out of the water. It's that idea of you're going to be grounded by the relationships that you can put your faith in. So relationship with your spirit guides, relationship with your intuition, with yourself. Really pay attention to your emotions. Really pay attention to your emotions because those are your warning signs from your body about whether something is good for you or bad for you, right? So you're going to be able to feel huge blaring like red warning signs come up if something comes up that's triggering for you. And that'll be your opportunity to determine okay, is this just a feeling because I'm feeling triggered, or is this a person I need to watch out for? You're going to be doing a lot of that this year, determining what's really scary and what's scary just because you're scared. So try to stay grounded, because your imagination can take you to some frightening places, especially if you've just come out of a really bad situation. Your mind is still going to think that it's in a bad situation until it's been given enough time to recover and get used to things being good and safe again. This card is also connected with timing in Leo and Sagittarius season. So that coming up with the fire card that emphasizes the fire signs. Leo and Sagittarius season of this year may be especially major times of the year for you. So you can expect big events going on in life at that point of time. That could be positive, could be negative, could be related to all this, could be something entirely different. You know, maybe you have a big career change during Leo season, during July, August, and November, December. So keep an eye out for that. Make sure to stay safe, pile number 3, and remember that you are loved and you are being protected. That'll be it for your reading for Year of the Wood Snake 2025. If you think that I did a good job today, the best way that you can support me and let me know that I did a good job is by leaving a like, a comment, and hitting subscribe. You can also check out my short form content on TikTok at Aetheric Sage and my website, aethericsage.com, where I offer professional readings. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your year.